Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Big Bold You, a show that was created to help everyone out there. Yes, we're talking to you to play bigger in your life. And to play bigger in your life, you've got to think bigger first. You've got to be bolder, which means you've got to step out of your comfort zone. You've got to do things that you don't think you can do, but I promise you can do them. And some things that you really want to do, but you're just scared to do them. So you can become the best version of you. I believe that we live in a world where there is a war between good and evil. And the only way evil wins is when good people like you, like me, like our friends and family, and our incredible guests that we have on the show, when we just don't do enough because we allow fear or distractions to get in our way and stop us. So every week on the show, we've got an incredible guest, somebody that is living their life with intention. They're being bigger, they're being bolder. They share their stories, their struggles, their ups and downs, and really a topic that is near and dear to their heart. So today I am so excited to really introduce to people. I think people probably know you, Lisa, but Lisa Stubbs, she is an incredible person, and our topic today is confidence begins with me. So Lisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Jens. I'm so honored and excited to be here, and obviously super thrilled to be in your circle of friendship and be mentored by you. So just
Well,
love Jens.
let me tell you that something I think is so special about you is you lead with your heart. And that's I think one reason why we connect so well, because I'm a heart-centered person also. And I believe that in order for a person to grow to their fullest potential, you've got to be in an environment of love. So to be the biggest, best version of you, you've got to be in that environment of love, and it starts with you. And I think that's really what confidence is all about. But before we jump into confidence, which is what everybody needs to succeed and to have happiness in this life, you've got a really neat perspective on it. But first, just tell everybody a little bit about who you are and where you are in your journey in life and how you got here.
Okay, sounds great. So, we could go on and on about different stories, but I'll focus in on I'm a wife and mother of four currently. And before all of that, I was in education for 9.5 years, overseeing summer and after school programs. And I was a national accreditation endorser for after school programs nationwide. So that was exciting. So I had confidence, you could say.
Right.
I was talking to principals, hiring people, unfortunately firing sometimes, just organizing programs, carnivals for the whole district. I mean, I was really involved. And becoming a stay-at-home mom, it just kind of turned things for me a bit, where I got a little more introverted because I was staying at home more.
Right.
And it was a dream of mine to be a stay-at-home mom. I wanted that. I was definitely, but I went from being, in the professional world to staying at home. And so my confidence started to shake a bit. And we'd been through, at this time, about 7 years financial struggle. And the economy had hit, we had double mortgage for 15 months. And times were just really hard. And so we lived off the sale of our home after it sold for about 7 years. And we were about running out of money. And we were going to be probably needing to move in with my parents in about 3 months. Well, a little bit backstory on that. So my hair took a big hit.
Because you were
with all that
stressed out.
stress. Exactly.
You
It
were
was
so
the stress.
stressed out.
Yeah. And then raising these four kids, and I realized later I wasn't filling my cup. I was really not. I had a lot of the storylines I was telling myself were negative. And I got to a point, I'll never forget, some of my friends, different times would come to the house and I couldn't even answer the door. I remember peeking and peering through the window and I'd see who it was and I knew who they were. They were my friends. But I just didn't want to open the door because I didn't know what they wanted and I wanted to be prepared. Or my sister-in-law would call me and I couldn't answer. Or my in-laws. I mean, people that I love and they love me. And my anxiety just got the better of me. And I believe I was too focused on the future. Like, what do they want? What is this?
Right.
I wanted to be prepared. Anyway, so I ended up on a journey of trying to figure out how to fix my hair, because what woman doesn't want to feel like they've got pretty hair and nice makeup on
Right.
and, feeling good about themselves. And so my husband was supportive of that. So even though we were struggling financially, I'm sitting here, pouring some money into hair products and things and internal medicine doctors and eventually even Eastern medicine because Western wasn't working for me. And anyway, my hairdresser ended up introducing these products to me, hair products, and they just transformed my hair, which in turn, restored my confidence because people everywhere I'd go were saying, "What'd you do to your hair?" And I was so taken back by that because I didn't get any attention for my hair because I would cringe when people would sit behind me because they could see my split ends. I mean, it was just not pretty.
But I love it that you're so open and so honest about that struggle and that time in your life, because I'm sure there are people out there right now that are hiding. And that's really what you were doing. You were hiding, you were stressed out, you weren't feeling great about yourself. And listen, being a stay-at-home mom is a hard job, and I know I feel the same way that you do. And I was in corporate America, and I'd always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and I was a stay-at-home mom, but it really does take it takes a toll on you, especially if you're used to going and going, and work is so much of it just fulfills you in a different way than being a mom. And sometimes I felt like I was on candid camera. I'm like, is there a camera following me right now? Is there a camera? I mean, like I can remember one time I went to go shopping, and I had 3 kids, and they were, of course, all under the age of 5. I had my daughter who was screaming and yelling at the top of her lungs. She was probably about 4 at the time. Then I had the 2-year-old and then the baby, and the baby was crying. The one in the middle wasn't crying. And I remember trying on clothes thinking, I am insane. Like, I'm insane. Why do I have these 3 kids with me trying on clothes? But you do it because that's what we do as moms, and we make it happen. But there are a lot of times that people don't want to share that. And I love it that you're so honest with that part of your story. And I love it that your husband was supportive of you wanted some control over something, and you wanted to feel good about something. And it was your hair. I mean, it could have been something else, but for you, that's what it was. And well, first of all, let me ask you this.
Sure.
When you were ignoring your friends and family, people that loved you, did you feel badly about that?
Oh, yes. I beat myself up for sure. Absolutely.
And did they know at the
No.
time?
No,
They
had no idea. And I could put on a different face when I'd go to church or I'd go to the grocery store, and I'd look normal and I'd smile and I could just snap out of it.
Right.
But when I was in my own home, in my own privacy, I was in a struggle.
And how long did that go?
Oh, that was for sure the whole 7 years. It might have even started before that.
That's
but,
something, Lisa.
I don't know. When you think back, I don't know if I got into postpartum depression. I have no idea.
Right.
But it was definitely a situational depression probably that I was in.
For sure.
Involved with. But,
and that's so common. And I think people don't realize that situational depression is a real thing, and it's okay. I mean, it's all right, and it's not going to last forever, but you do need help to get out of it. So did you realize that you were going through some type of situational depression? I mean, or did you think I'm going to be like this forever? I mean, what were your...
Yeah, so that's a great question. I definitely did think that I was going through something. I would talk to my husband about it, and he could kind of just help me emotionally navigate through and, talk me off the ledge if I was ever on one, not that I was never suicidal, but
Right.
it was just that, just that feeling of uneasiness and not comfortable in my own skin even. And, I think that played a piece into a couple of my kids' lives, which is so unfortunate. And so now I'm just pouring love into them like crazy because they're still with me. They haven't launched yet. And so, but yeah, I think I knew a bit, but it was not until this business opportunity kind of came in, and then, they want you to get involved in personal development. And that really was a turnkey for me, and realizing that you got to put your own oxygen mask on first, or you can't help other people. And, I should have known that all along being a mom, that I needed to fill my own cup first, and then I could have more to give them. I think I was just hanging on by a thread.
Right. And so this business opportunity fell into your lap. It made your hair look amazing, and your hair does look amazing.
Thank you.
I mean, it does, of course. And you started getting into personal development, which I think network marketing is one of the most incredible industries to get into personal development. My master's degree is in training and development. My dad was a professional tennis player. He just poured personal development into us, whether we realized it or not. We really didn't know what he was doing at the time, but I just always had a desire to learn more, and I knew that we were in control of our thoughts and our feelings and our actions and our attitudes. So I knew that, but when I got involved in a network marketing company as well, I think the good ones, not to say any of them are not good, but I think the better ones really do push personal development. So was it you started reading books or you started going to events? I mean, how did that play out?
It was really the books, the reading the books. Energy Bus was my first one on there, all about positivity and get off my bus. I started looking, do I have toxic people in my life? Do I need to get rid of some of this? I just really started to evaluate. And that's one of the things that I definitely recommend for people is evaluating, like, how do you feel on the outside? How do you feel on the inside? And look at every aspect of your life and just try to figure out, do you need somebody on your life team? Do you need a psychologist for something like that? Or do you need a better hairdresser? Or, I don't know. What do you need for your life? And just really take a look deep within yourself. And so I just started evaluating myself and really getting a morning routine. Hal Elrod's book is all about that morning miracle.
Yes.
And changing just that, I learned first 17 seconds in the morning, just magnetize. If a positive thought magnetizes to that, if you can sustain a positive thought for 17 seconds, I should say it like that, then you'll be able to magnetize another positive thought and it'll just continue on that way. And you'll have a better, brighter day just by how you start it in the morning.
Oh, definitely.
So.
And it is so vitally important. Our thoughts, we are the sum of our thoughts. Our whole life, the happiness, the success, our accomplishments, our ups, our downs, everything is controlled by the mind, by what we think. And we do have power to change the way we think. So when you have something that happens to you and your knee-jerk reaction might be something negative. I mean, hey, look, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. But
Yep.
you have the choice. I mean, you have the choice to stay there in that negative thought or to stop and look at that in a more positive way. So a couple things. One is, what are some of your favorite books?
Okay, so I love almost anything leadership by with Maxwell, John Maxwell. Yes,
Exactly.
His first name was relapsing
Right.
there in my mind, in my Google.
Right. I love that.
So, I'm more gentle with myself. And I definitely love Eat the Frog. We're reading that book right now. Man's Search for Meaning is fantastic. What's the gratitude book that I'm trying to think of? That is not coming to me in my Google either.
Right. That's okay. But gratitude, I mean, I always say gratitude is the secret sauce. I mean, gratitude is the secret sauce. You've got to be grateful for all things. And when you learn that, believe me, there are times when I have some really struggles. I mean, I'm struggling. I've got things that aren't going great. And I just say, be grateful for all things, be grateful for all things, be grateful for all things, because there is a lesson to be learned in all of our struggles. And I think sometimes we learn more in our struggles. So when I say be grateful for all things, I'm like going, there's something in here for me. There's something. But yes, gratitude is huge. And we're going to give you a little nugget from Eat That Frog. One of the things that I do, Lisa, as you know, is I facilitate a mastermind and we do a book of the month. And I really try on our podcast to talk about the book that we're reading. The book this month is Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. And we're going to start talking and digging deep into confidence, because that's really what you were lacking in that 7-year struggle. That was what you regained while you went on your journey that we're going to talk about more. And you've got just a really neat perspective on it. But here is what he says. It says, the way you develop the courage you need to act is to act as if you already have the courage that you need and behave accordingly. And I'm going to say that, it's one of the things my husband says to me all the time is, Jens, you act like you know what you're doing for no good reason. for no good
Oh, I
reason. You have
love it.
no good reason to act the way you do sometimes. But I think it's because I understand that we have the ability, we are limitless, and there's nothing that we can't do, there's nothing that we can't accomplish, but you have to believe that you can. And you might not be exactly where you need to be right now, this moment. You never are. I'm going to tell you that right now. You never are when you have these grand ideas that pop into your head. But those grand ideas pop into your head so you can develop into who you need to become. So you have to act as if. So I want to get deeper into your story and what did you do to develop your confidence and what did you learn that you can share with other people with regards to how do you develop your confidence?
Sure, I would love to share. So, some of the things that I've done to restore my confidence was to think about 4 areas of life where you can think about your mental. So, I kind of feel like your brain is a muscle that you've got to exercise. Your physical body has muscles that need to be exercised. And I feel like your body's a temple and you've got to take care of it. And then also your spiritual self, because that's intertwined. It's all connected. And so you've got to feed and nourish that as well. And then there's the social aspect so that you don't get caught up in staying at home and hiding and, just getting more internal. So basically, evaluating each of those areas. And mental for me was, what thoughts am I thinking when I first wake up in the morning? Am I slamming, Mel Robbins? I listened to one of her things about the 5-second rule and not hitting that snooze button, but being excited. Why do you want to get up in the morning? Have a reason. What is the reason? Figure it out and think about that reason and think about things you're grateful for in the very beginning, because then you will keep thinking about more positive things as time goes on. And then, I get up and I stretch because my muscles are warm. And that's just a great time for my body just to kind of feel a lot better. And then I, of course, drink some warm water with some lemon in it and some apple cider vinegar, which might sound putrid, but it is so good for my gut. And so, and then I get my exercise on and I really enjoy doing that. And then I also make sure that I am more cognizant of what I'm eating. And I've realized that that's really a mental game as well, because we make so many decisions on what we're putting in our mouth all throughout the day. And, I've gotten into like intermittent fasting. And so I feel a lot better. And I'm putting just so much more healthy things into my body instead of trying to deal with the sluggish feelings of some of the extra sugar. I used to be addicted to sugar, and I'm sure that played a big role in some of the feelings and thoughts that I'd had as well, because it really impacts.
There's no doubt. People don't realize how toxic sugar is for the body and for the mind. And so I love it. I think I think it's a big lesson to know that what you put in your body will heal you or it will kill you, literally. It's one of my favorite sayings to say to my kids as they were growing up.
It's a good one.
But you have another perspective on how to boost your confidence. And to me, I know it's 100% true and accurate, but it's something that I don't think most people immediately think about when they are sitting around saying, okay, what can I do to boost my confidence? And that is...
So I feel like another way to build self-confidence, or one of the best ways, is to serve other people. And it's kind of cyclical for me, because if you fill your own cup, then you are able to give more. I realized now that I'm focused on making sure that I'm the person that I want to be and that I'm being the best version of myself, I actually have more energy, more mental stamina to give to my children, to give to my team, to give to my community, to give to my church members. I can give and serve so much more. And when we give to others and we serve other people, we put others first, it just really helps us to feel whole. I feel like we're all put on this earth with each other, for each other, because we can't do this life alone, because it does get hard sometimes here and there, and nobody should be alone. We should really be opening our arms and uplifting others with smiles, with compliments, with service, with time, with even donating money to certain organizations that tug at your heartstrings, because those heartstrings are being tugged for a reason. It's just in getting in alignment with yourself, figuring out what you have passion for and who you want to support and how you can help and lend of your time and your energies to give back because we've been blessed with so much. I mean, just having the gift of being alive every day is really a gift. And so living each day like it's your last is another great mantra to have, you know?
Yes, and I think it's so true when you talk about giving and how it builds your self-confidence because literally, to your point, we were not sent here to just live our lives by ourselves. We were sent here to make a difference. And I think the best way you can make a difference is impacting other people's lives for good. And I challenge one person out there to go do greatness and goodness and serve people and you not feel wonderful. You just feel great. In fact, sometimes when I'm talking to people that are struggling they're struggling, whether it be with depression, they don't feel good about themselves. It's a lot of times they're so consumed with thinking about themselves that I will say, look, turn it around and start helping other people make a positive difference in the world. Go and volunteer and just be around good people doing good things. And I promise you, you will feel better. And it really does build your confidence 100%. And I think that's another thing that you have experienced with your journey in your network marketing company is you've become a leader and you've been able to help other people change their lives, whether it's getting product for a free or a discounted price, getting product that has made them feel better about themselves, or being able to support their family in a larger way and build their own dreams. So you're serving in a big capacity with what you're doing with your career. And how has that impacted you?
Absolutely. I really feel like the being involved in network marketing with this business has impacted me so immensely. I'm almost speechless sometimes about it because not only did it improve how I felt on the outside, but then it restored my confidence on the inside and enabled me, basically a catalyst to be able to reach my goals and be able to be part of the solution to our family's financial situation. There's no, retirement in my husband's company and, no health insurance. And so there's just more things. And we've got weddings coming up eventually and kids' college and just all those exciting things to pay for. And I'm so thrilled to be part of that solution. And then in turn, being able to mentor and teach other people to be able to do the same thing and to be able to reach, first of all, believe that they can do it, dream, and then achieve it by setting small goals that lead to bigger and long-term goals. And one of my favorite things is one gal telling me, I actually have something I'm so excited to wake up for in the morning because she felt the same way. She's making an impact. And the stories you hear of where they're in a struggle and then it just sets them free and gives them that freedom, time and financial freedom. It's incredible. I love it.
And that provides confidence as well. When you have financial abundance, you have financial freedom, when you're able to set your own schedule, you feel more confident. And, one of the things I say all the time is your ultimate goal in life, whether you realize this or not, your ultimate goal in life is to become a leader. And you know that only 2% of people are leaders. And that means that they're gonna do what they need to do all on their own. The other 98% need people. And even the 2% that are leaders, they need people as well. But all of these positive actions, it leads to that confidence and I think that peace that we all are striving for in life. How many of you out there right now you're living life hectic, you're just like helter skelter and you need that calming factor and serving others and building your confidence is so important. And you mentioned so many wonderful ways that you build your confidence. But what inspires you to continue to keep going on?
Obviously, myself, because I want to be the best mom that I can be. I want to be the best wife I can be. So aside from my family, it's, giving to my team and helping them realize their goals because they are counting on me. I do need to be that leader like Jen's is talking about. I do need to show them the way and as they start to develop that within themselves and The other thing is, I love our company really is into giving back and having a gratitude project where, because we're being blessed monetarily, let's give back. And whether it's with your money or your time, but give back because we want to show appreciation for the blessings that we receive. And as we go global, we'll change the world as we go. And I love that that's one of our main focuses because it just speaks to all of our hearts, and everybody has a small way, even if it's just volunteering at your children's school for story time or just
Oh,
something
yes.
super simple, but it makes an impact, and it leaves an impression on your heart and helps other people and encourages them to be able to think outside of the box and stretch their comfort zones and maybe do things that they never thought was
Oh, right.
possible.
One of the things that I did, and I was inspired, was to become a big for Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and that was something that the network marketing company that I was involved with, that was their philanthropy. And I don't know about you, but I've known about Big Brothers and Big Sisters for years. In fact, one of my really good friends, shout out to Camille Curry, we've known each other since we were 11, been best friends ever since. But we talked about that when we were in college. We thought we should be bigs because I love kids. I mean, I love kids. And I have 5 kids, and I'm telling you, I just love them. And all my kids are older, and they're so much fun. I love you so much, all 5 kids. But I love little kids. I love big kids. And they're not kids anymore, really. My kids are adults now. But I remember we wanted to be bigs. And we looked into it, and you have to be at one location for at least a year. And so we decided that in our college years, it just wasn't the right time. And I can vividly remember being at this event. They were talking about becoming a big, and I said, okay, forget it. I'm just going to do it. And I became a big. And there was many times when I had won big awards in that company. And still to this day, I mean, I walked the stage, for many accolades. But when I got to stand up as a big, and here you've got 20,000 people in an event, and there's just a handful of people that stood up, and I was just bawling my eyes out, and I was more proud and happy and satisfied being able to stand up as a big because I knew that I was making such an impact on a child's life. And again, it goes back to the service. It goes back to building your confidence. And I think it really also goes back to your priorities where, sometimes you might think you need more money. And believe me, it is nice. I'm not going to lie. It's nice having more money. But I'm telling you, more money doesn't make you feel the same way as serving does. It just doesn't. And but I'm very big in financial abundance and being responsible with your resources because I think that's a responsibility that we have. So I love that. Along your journey, you have impacted many people. And you've shared some of your stories, but this is totally, we didn't rehearse any of this, but what are some, if not one, of your most impactful stories where you just are like, you know what, it's a life changer, it's a game changer, and I promise you sharing your experience of that 7-year struggle. There will be somebody that will watch this show, whether they're watching right now or whether they're watching, I say a year from now, 2 years, or 10 years from now. But what story that you know of how your decision to rise above what you were going through and the impact that it made on somebody?
Okay. So one of them would be I've got a special friend that's on my team, and she was definitely struggling, has come from, drug abuse and, that kind of a lifestyle that can be really hard and really challenging to get out of, number one. And, just being able to help her see the vision of what can be achieved when you set your mind to something, and where there's a will, there's a way. And just walking along her side and seeing her grow and develop and watching her family be able to be impacted, where she was able to move into a home of her own and get out of the apartment and be able to just make a difference in her own children's lives and get on her own and really take her life back. And that's probably been the most powerful one, just because she was able to share her vulnerability with me and, just put that right out there and let me know those deep, dark secrets.
Right.
That,
And
you
all of
know,
that is scary. And I think you've hit on some really important points. Number one is you've got to be real, and you've got to reach out to somebody, and you've got to talk to somebody. You've got to share your deepest, darkest thoughts, because you got to get them out. I mean, you can't let them stay in your head. You got to get them out so then you can get over them. But I know that there was a time where you had to make a decision, because when we talk about confidence begins with me, you know that you had to make a decision. What was that point where you made the decision that I'm no longer going to hide from people that are ringing my doorbell. I'm no longer going to not answer the phone. What was that decision? When did you make that decision?
Okay, so the way that I made the decision to just not be in hiding anymore and just really move forward and get on with my life and helping other people, I was in the chair at my stylist, and she was telling me how she needed a certain somebody to do this in her network marketing business, which was the hair products. And I said, well, I'm not salesy. And she said, well, I'll help you. I'll just help you along the way. And my husband's in sales, so he's the first to say, yeah, my wife's not a sales lady. I'm in sales. She's a consumer.
Right,
She
right.
likes to buy things. And so anyway, she was able to help me, which showed me the way, right? But as time went on, there was an opportunity to become a founder in the company. And that is a big deal. It's kind of a big mantle to be able to hold, and to get to a certain level by sharing with enough people. Then I was able to attain that title as a founder and a legacy founder of the company, to be able to receive quarterly paid profit shares, which was going to be huge for our family, right? And so for me, showing up to be able to make that happen for my family. And I was watching, I'll never forget too, being at one of the events, watching one of the leaders. She's now a $5 million earner, but was so humble. She'd get red in the face sharing her story, and she had achieved her GED. She'd struggled in life, monetarily. And I just remember looking at her just going, if she can do that, I can do this. I have a college degree. I have done so many things. I am going to do this. And I will never forget that moment. And I would go back week after week. And sometimes I wasn't even inviting somebody to attend with me, even though that's what you're supposed to do. That's the whole point of the business. But it was in her instilling that belief in me, watching her. And so I do believe that there are leaders out there that we do need to follow as we figure out our own footing along our journey.
Oh, you have to. I mean, one of the things I say all the time is you have to hitch your wagon to leaders. Yes. And then when you hitch your wagon to a leader, you never let go, because a real leader is never going to stop developing themselves. They lead with love. They're never going to let you down. They're just going to keep going and going and going. And we respond differently to different people. So when you respond to a leader, hitch your wagon and just go for a ride of your life. One of the things I say also is, there are virtual leaders like John C. Maxwell. John C. Maxwell is a virtual leader. Gary V, I love you. You are a virtual leader of mine. And then there's live leaders. And, you had the opportunity to connect, and you've connected with a lot of really neat live leaders. And same principles, you hit your wagon, you stay, you keep going. Mm-hmm. But, I want to know about the decision, because I'm fascinated by decisions, because success is a decision. Happiness is a decision. There's a time where the light bulb goes off and you say, okay, I'm making the decision to lose weight. I'm making the decision to be healthy. I'm making a decision to be happy. I'm making a decision to be successful. And it's not until you make that decision that those things happen. You can say all day long you want to lose 20 pounds. But until you really make the decision, and there are things attached to a decision. But I'm fascinated, because what I want to know, when you said you were sitting in the chair and you were getting your hair done, did you make the decision to step into this world because you wanted to help your family financially? Or did you make the decision at that time because you thought, did you have a feeling, I need this to grow?
That's a really good question. So, what I did when I was sitting in the chair and decided that I was going to go for this and really try to do this business, it was more of a decision of the lack of funds. And I'll be honest, that it really, really was, because did I mention we were 3 months away from moving in with my parents in California? And as this business started to grow, that exact amount of money I started to make from the business was the exact amount of money we were dipping into for savings. So it was, I used to joke that the Lord just put it right in my lap, and I'm like, no, He really put it in my hair. But I mean, it started that way, but then it turned as soon as the founder thing happened. I was able to realize, wow, I can do the things that I used to do, where I set my mind to something. So back when I had an internship, my boss wanted me to create a Jobs for Kids program where I would hire junior high kids to come in and work at the after school programs, but there was no money to pay them. So I came up with a plan and decided to go out and solicit donations for gift certificates at, frozen yogurt back when that was a big deal a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And I was able to receive, by asking for donations, TVs, bicycles, rollerblades, ghetto blasters. Those are big radios that we used to carry around. All these different things that I would think would incentivize kids to want to work. And so I set up a point system, and depending on how well they worked, they were able to receive these different things. And it made me realize that where there's a will, there's a way. And that's the first, very solidifying time. And so I kind of tapped back into that feeling and that emotion and how I'd made that decision and made that happen, because nobody was asking me about it. I mean, I just did it. I had to do this. This was my internship. I wanted to graduate from college. It was youth agency administration under recreation management. And I just wanted to, do good, big things. And so that solidified that for me. And then when I took it over into this same area, but I'll never forget too, being on a phone call with one of my upline members and asking him, do you really think I can do this? And he's like, yes, you can. And so I held on to his belief in me through that whole process. And I'll never forget that, and always ever grateful for these two people that believed in me and kept me going, because they were rooting me on, you
Right.
know?
Well, I think it's important that people realize a lot of times when you're struggling and a decision, you have to make the decision. A lot of times the first reason that you make the decision is for other people. Like you said, it was for your family. And so many times when you make those decisions for other people, really you're the one that's going to be blessed the most. But it is one of the most fascinating things when I ask people, what was the decision and why did you make the decision? And 9 out of 10 times they make it for other people. And so it goes even back to the service, where people sometimes will do things, most of the time, they'll do things for other people more than even themselves. And I love it, because you're blessed. You're the one who is blessed, and you're the one who grows. So every show, I ask our guests, say, listen, send me a Ask Jen's question, or we get a Ask Jen's question from one of our viewers or from someone in our network. And I love the question this week. And I can't wait to hear what you say about this question as well, Lisa. So our Ask Jen's question is, do you believe in luck? And I will tell you, I don't believe in luck. I believe in hard work. I believe in preparation. I believe in making good choices. And I believe in surrounding yourself with great people and realizing that you've got to have a strong mindset. So no, I don't believe in luck. We are where we are because of the decisions that we make. And if you don't like where you are right now, you can make different decisions and be wherever it is you want to be at whatever time you'd like to be there. So what do you think, Lisa?
So, great question. So, do I believe in luck? I absolutely do not believe in luck. I remember preparing to teach some kids some songs, and it was around St. Patrick's Day, so I was using that theme. And that's when I really pondered it and really came to the realization that nope, there's no such thing as luck. Everything happens for a reason. And in regards to self-confidence, it's all about it's a skill that you can learn. It's your perspective and it's the belief in yourself. It's really, it's kind of like sharpening the saw. You've got to keep putting time and effort towards it. And all of us, not one person on this planet is 100% confident. We all have some insecurities here and there. And it's just a matter of stretching your comfort circle stretching your comfort zone, excuse me, and just getting outside of yourself and just trying, because we've got to fail forward. We'll just make a lot of mistakes as we go along, but we've got to fail forward and just keep getting back up and not staying down for very long.
I think that's just the most important thing is failing is a part of learning. And I like to say you never fail, you just learn. If you do it the right way, if you do it the right way and you make a mistake, you just get up and say, okay, what the questions I ask myself is, what did I do or not do that impacted what just happened? And believe me, you got to learn from those things, and you've got to make those adjustments. But another thing that I love so much is that every one of our guests that comes on the show, not every guest has an offer, but I love it when a guest does have a special offer. And do you have a special offer for our viewers that are watching? And listen, you could be, again, they could be watching this a year from now, Lisa. I know.
Well, the offer will probably always be there, but I've got a link for free samples if you would like to sample our hair care. And we actually now have skincare, but our hair care, we are #1 premium hair care brand in the world. So it really is a great product if you want to address a hair concern or any hair goal that you have. So pretty exciting.
And what we'll do is we will put that link in the comment box. And if you want to get just in touch with Lisa, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
So you can head to, I'm on Facebook, Lisa J. Stubbs. You can head there, or Instagram's Lisa J. Stubbs 92. You're welcome to go to either spot, or you can email me at sweethair92@gmail.com.
All right. Well, what's the special about 92?
That's the year I graduated.
Okay.
So, it tells my age.
I knew there was something special about that. And I know there's something special about each and every one of you. And we're so blessed to have you join us. If there was anything that we said, that we shared today that helped you, please share this. Subscribe to the Jens Johnson YouTube channel, and that's Jens with a G. Share it with your friends. Help us help you. And if you're interested in a specific topic, maybe coming on the show yourself, please reach out to me at jensjohnson.com. Give me a shout out at YouTube or any of my social media platforms. We'd be happy to help you in any way. So Lisa, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. Such a privilege to be here, and I'm so grateful to have Jens as one of my mentors. So thank you for being you. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I love you. So until we meet again next Monday at 2 p.m. Central, be big, be bold, and most importantly, be you.